Hans breaks. Oh, Hans, you're breaking my balls. I don't have weapons of mass destruction, okay, Hans? Team America, fuck yeah! Released in 2004 and is directed by Trey Parker and Matt Man, I still have these on. Still have those on. Oh, I'm gonna get so many comments on this video. Again, this movie was released in 2004, and it's from the minds of the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who've directed such films like South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and Cannibal the Musical, which was their grad school project, and it is an hilarious musical that I think everyone who's a fan of theirs needs to see. I can catch a helpless animal, skin him with my bare hands. I am just now realizing how much of my comedic timing and how much of what I find funny just in the world and in art stems from South Park. And I don't know what that says about me, but it probably says I'm like a disgusting, dirty person. And that's true. I don't know if any of you know this, but there are terrorists in this world that want to kill you. Thankfully, though, you have protection, and they go by the name of Team America, World Police. However, the terrorists have been ramping up their activity as of late, and they need a spy to infiltrate them. So they recruit one of the greatest spies in the world, a Broadway actor who's made his living singing about AIDS on the stage. So now Gary and the rest of the team head out to destroy all of the terrorists that are terrorizing all of the world, in particular America. Little do they know that Korean dictator Kim Jong-il is pulling all of the strings. Ah! You see what I did? Because it's puppets. Zing. So let's go back to a time when things were just oh so simpler, and things were just so black and white in this world. And of course, when I mean this world, I mean this country, the United States of America, because this movie exploits that Americans, we love to think that America is the center of the world. And you can tell whenever they visit a different country in this film, the subtext says it's Paris, France, and then how many miles it is from America, because that's the most important thing. And heck, when we go to cities that are in Asia or the Middle East, we Americans aren't even gonna bother to learn what country they are in. We're just gonna put their city name, the Middle East or Asia, and then how many miles away they are from America. Because that's how ignorant us Americans really are. Back in 2001, an event happened here in America that shook us to the core, and it still shook us to the core to this day, and that was September 11th, 2001, when a couple of planes flew into the World Trade Center, and a plane flew into the Pentagon and basically destroyed everything. This was considered an act of terror done by terrorists who want to kill you. Or at least that's what the president and the media was telling me back then. And I would have been in 7th grade, so imagine, you know, a little kid watching TV and being told that, hey, there are people out there called terrorists who want to kill you. It kind of stirs something up inside of you and go like, hey, I don't want to be killed. I'm gonna kill you first. And so about 2 years later, in 2003, America declared its war on terror and deployed troops to Iran and Iraq and basically all through the Middle East to fight terror and to find those WMDs. Did we find any? No. Back then, everyone was all about the terrorists. We're gonna find Osama bin Laden, and oh, we're going after Saddam Hussein too? And I'm in 7th grade at this time, so I'm like, I don't know who that is, but yeah! Basically, it was a war on terror, and if you were a dictator who didn't meet the qualifications of the United States, you were also targeted as well. So that was the mindset, at least that I had, and my little society that I was in had at that time. In comes Trey Parker and Matt Stone, of course, to completely make fun of the entire thing. And that is their type of humor. They love taking anything that's happening in pop culture, anything that's happened political at the time, and they love twisting it and turning it into a political satire with a bunch of vulgarity, but really making a point that's absolutely brilliant. And that is what they set out to do with this movie. They wanted to take this whole concept of this war on terror, and they wanted to make fun of it, and they wanted to make it into a Armageddon type movie just with animatronic puppets. And they're not making fun of just one particular political group. a particular type of religion. They make fun of everyone. And I think when comedians and creators make fun of just everyone in general and not focus on one particular genre or one particular religion or one particular political party, I think that makes for really, really funny comedy. And a nice cohesive comedy at that. So they make fun of the hardcore conservatives. America! Fuck yeah! And they make fun of extreme liberals. Team America! And they make fun of actors who believe with the platform that they've been given and the world-renowned fame that they have that they are somehow political leaders. So they'll go on news programs like CNN or Dateline and they'll talk about how the war on terror is just is terrible, it's awful, and we shouldn't do that. We should make peace with everyone. And it's like, you're an actor. You had an agent who got you an audition to play a role on the camera that you learn a couple of lines for, you go in and shoot, a stunt double comes in, does all the hard stuff, and then you go back in, you finish up the scene. That's... an actor pretends. That's the basis of an actor. That's all you got. Gosh, it always drove me crazy when actors would use like their acceptance speech for any award to use it as like a political stance on something. I'm like, dude, you just won an award. Thank your agent. Thank the people who created the film. Don't use it as a platform to talk about your political beliefs and what we should do as a country. You're not elected by your fellow peers as a congressman or as a president or as a secretary of defense or anything like that. You're just an actor. Accept your award and go sit down and enjoy catering. And boy, are they laid into in this film. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have never really had a good opinion about actors. When they've gotten like outside help, it's from like their friends or like some small-time actors that don't have a big ego about them. If you've seen South Park at all, they're constantly making fun of celebrities, and when celebrities say like, hey, this is a hit show, I want to do a voice cameo, they give it to like the voice of the dog. George Clooney was the voice of the dog in one episode. That was it. But I think what eases everyone into this movie about parroting everything is that, hey, this is not done with real people, this is done with puppets. So you can't hate on puppets because they're puppets. They're adorable. These things are actually huge. These are some of the biggest puppets I've seen other than like the life-size Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones. But they are so convincing. And after you watch this movie for several minutes, you forget that these are actual puppets. Or at least until we get to the sex scene, which, by the way, this film has, I think, the greatest puppet sex scene out of any mainstream motion picture. Because I think it's the only one. And if you are going to watch that scene, watch the unrated version. It goes on for several more minutes. And I think that's the only thing different about the unrated version. It's more puppet sex. More positions. The visual effects in here, the puppetry, everything is practical. I don't think there's an ounce of CGI at all in this film. So everything very impressive. Reminds me of watching the Thunderbirds when I was a kid. Like a very young kid. But the longer you watch this movie, you forget that they're puppets, and you forget that you're seeing strings on screen, and you're just watching these plastic actors just performing the film, all with the intention of delivering just a very powerful message about how our society works and how we are looking at this war on terror at this time. Probably the most famous monologue from this film is the concept monologue of, hey, there are 3 types of people in this world. There are dicks, there are pussies, and they are assholes. Pussies don't really like dicks because dicks fuck the pussies. But dicks also fuck assholes. And if the dicks didn't fuck the assholes, then the assholes would just shit all over everyone, including the pussies. And it goes on and on and on. I don't want to go much further or else I'll be demonetized down here. Basically, it's a monologue about how we all need each other, regardless of your political beliefs, your religious beliefs. We all need each other because we all have our good things about ourselves and we all have our bad things. And if we all just came together as one unified unit, we would all cancel each other out in some type of way. The problem, though, is when people don't realize that and they just sector themselves off, and we're just completely misinformed, miscommunicating, and the world just goes into a terrible mess. I'm telling you, this film on paper seems silly and ridiculous and toilet humor, but underneath it all, just like Trey Parker and Matt Stone do almost with every episode of South Park, there is some brilliant messages that are hidden in here that you need to look for. Yes, it disguises it with a bunch of crude toilet humor, but underneath it all, again, there is a beautiful message that I hope everyone gets out of this, if you hadn't left the theater in the first 2 minutes or turned off the TV screen in the first 5. It also does a great job of showing just how blind a lot of Americans are when we are so gung-ho about this country, and we're going over and we're saving everyone. We're imposing our democracy beliefs into other countries. See how great we are? And as we're doing that, we're destroying everything. And I just think it's such a brilliant concept that I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I'm older and now that war, or at least that time, is over a decade away, I can see that, oh yeah, we were kind of imposing ourselves, and we should have really been focusing just on the crap that was happening here in this country as opposed to everywhere in the world and stretching us thin. Really just should have stayed focused on us for a little bit. And just like South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, I think the soundtrack to this film is absolutely brilliant. There's not a song on here that I hate, and they're all hilarious in so many different ways. Freedom isn't free. America, fuck yeah. Only a woman. Pearl Harbor sucks. That's right. Have you ever heard a ballad about someone describing how much they are longing for someone and also how much that Michael Bay movie sucked? I'm So Ronery. I love this soundtrack whenever I think about it. Is it PC? Absolutely not. Has some of the stereotypical humor aged well? No, because anyone that is not American in this film speaks basically in gibberish, or their accent is completely made fun of. It's hard to describe because I find it funny, and that's just the air that this movie is creating, but I can also see someone who doesn't know Trey Parker or Matt Stone's sense of humor and don't know where they come from. I can definitely see where they would be offended by just the first minute of this movie. But I think this movie is an hilarious time. It is definitely not for everyone. It is for a certain type of person with a certain type of sense of humor. If you love South Park, you would love this movie. If you hate South Park, don't watch this at all, because the humor is not for you. Even though the messages, I think, is very universal, the humor that surrounds it it's going to be very hard for you to get through it. I'm going to give Team America World Police 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
I don't care, it's my review, I do what I want. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and we are coming up to our horror week here at Caleb Watches Movies, so a bunch of screeners that I've gotten from Ginger Nuts of Horror, at least being associated with them. I'm going to be reviewing a couple of them here coming up, so stay tuned for that. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, leave your recommendation below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter and leave your recommendation there. If I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. And if you want your recommendation expedited, you can make a donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Just go ahead and click on the donate button. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie, whatever movie you want me to watch, attach it to your donation, and once I get it, I will give you a shout out and I will move your recommendation to the front of the line. So guys, have you seen Team America World Police? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time. In the meantime though, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.